What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Journey as we continue through Frontiers 1983, and the next track is Faithfully. It is an adverb, it describes how an action is performed, and of course, faithful can mean different things. It can mean true to somebody in terms of interpersonal relations, or in terms of adherence to a code of conduct or a dogma of belief. I am faithful to this. I do not deviate from it. I do not betray it. Of course, faithful can also be accurate, reflective of the original information. I have faithfully recreated or articulated what was told to me. And that is maybe less about ethics and more about precision and recollection. So yeah, I do think the more likely meaning of the word faithful, and by extension faithfully, is in terms of being true to someone and not misleading them or not behaving in a way that is a betrayal, or at the very least deviates from the implicit and or explicit agreements between people. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Faithfully by Journey, and it's from their 1983 album Frontiers. Oh, I've heard this. Yeah.
Highway run into the midnight sun. Wheels go round and round on my mind. Restless hearts sleep alone tonight, sending all my love along the wire. They say that the road ain't no place to start a family. Right down the line, it's been you and me. Love and the music, man, ain't always what it's supposed to be. Oh, girl, you stand by me. I'm forever yours, faithfully. Circus life under the big top world. We all need the clowns to make us smile. Through space and time, always another show. Wondering where I am, lost without you. And being apart ain't easy on this love affair. Two strangers learn to fall in love again. I get the joy of rediscovering you. Oh, girl, you stand by me. I'm forever yours, faithfully.
tune. I don't know when or where I heard it, and it's not something I think I've heard many times, but right away that piano line immediately struck some distant chord in my head. And then when the guitar came in fact, there was a line there that, like, at first when I heard it, I was like, oh, that's a cool guitar riff. And it's like, oh, wait, no, maybe that's electric keyboard. So obviously the guitar is, wailing away in the end. And speaking of wailing away, Perry's vocals in this one, forget about it. There's that crazy extension at the end, but throughout, the passion in his voice really, like, serves this song and its lyrics very well, and just, has a good sound as a vocal delivery. But yes, ultimately, I'd say this is like the epitome of a power ballad. It is a very loving song, but I'm intrigued a bit. Like, at first it sounds like it's just that, we're in this together, and I know loving me is not easy because I'm this musician, I'm out on the road, and the road is no way, or is no place to build a family or to, cultivate a, close relationship, because, I'm a music man and I'm out there going this place and that place, and maybe they go periods without seeing each other. And then, of course, there's the, worries that while he's playing these concerts here and there, that, maybe groupies or, the chance for infidelity is more than it would be for, like, a regular couple, which, they work in a single place and they're together all the time. So he seems to be saying, like, you stand by me and I'm forever yours faithfully. But then it's talking about, like, two strangers trying to fall in love again, and, he's, like, coming back to her or something. So then it sounds like, wait, so maybe there was a period where, like, it wasn't good. And now, then I thought, thirdly, maybe it's not that they had a breakup or that they had time apart, but that literally when he's out on the road, he's not with her. And so it's like, every time he comes home, it's almost like two strangers having to fall in love again because they are apart from each other for such a long time, year to year, month to month. So, yeah, maybe that last reading is what's happening here. But as I said, it was like, at first it's just like, they're with each other. And even though it's difficult, even though his life as a musician makes it harder, they're just perfectly with each other. And then, as I said, I thought, wait, like, maybe there was a period where it didn't work out, or, she left, or, he said, we have to be separate. But then, in the end, I feel like it's probably just because he is on the road so much. So when he comes back, it's like they almost have to start over. Maybe not from scratch, but they have to build things up again. But that they are both clearly willing to do it, and that he's saying, I'm here for you for as long as I live, faithfully. So, yeah, it's a sweet tune, and definitely the power ballad feel, the strength of the emotion comes through in the guitar work and Perry's vocals. Of course, I'm inclined to think that this is more or less autobiographical. Like, it feels like it has to be. It's, it's a song written by a member of a band. Now, I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if when Perry was in the band, was he doing a lot of the songwriting? So, but whether it's him or someone else in the band, it feels like this has to come from a place of real experience, of being in a long-term relationship, but in a scenario where, he's spending a lot of time out on the road, and they, they're not together for long stretches of time, and there is this sense of, like, this isn't normal, this isn't the way it's normally done, but, we make it work. So, yeah, I imagine this is autobiographical, at least on some level. And yeah, it does feel like this album is a little bit different from Escape. It feels like it's a bit more, like, again, power ballads and, like, more, like, keyboard rock relative to Escape, which admittedly, had keyboards and so on, but it felt like it was maybe a bit harder rock than this album, at least so far. So, yes, ultimately, we're still only, like 3 or 4 songs into it, but yeah, it just feels like there's been a little bit of a shift, and maybe that's just because I have a small sample size that I've been working with. In any case, I am enjoying the journey, and ultimately, it's a band I've known about since I was young. Again, 1 or 2 tracks, like Don't Stop Believin', that's one that I did know, but the majority of their catalog is unknown to me. Although I guess it's fair to say, with this one, and what was the Separate Worlds, the opening tune of this album, both of those came back to me in the moment. It's like, oh wait, I have actually heard this before. So yeah, maybe that will continue to be the case where, I don't know their songs by name, but some of them will have been heard by me back in the day. So either way, I'm enjoying the voyage. Let me know what you think, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.